Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth spoke to National Guard troops newly deployed in the city to effectively replace local police forces. Also there, Stephen Miller, who has no official law enforcement role in the administration. But listen to how these officials spoke about the work of these federal troops. Now remember, they're talking to these troops in an American city about American citizens.
I see the guns and badges in this room. You are unleashed. The handcuffs that you're carrying, they're not on you anymore. They're on the criminals. And whatever you need to get it done, we're going to get it done. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are. And we have the entire weight of the United States government behind us. We're not here to second guess you. We're here to have your back, to unleash you, to do your job so you come home safely.
To unleash you. The language is even starker when you consider that just days ago, Trump told military commanders they would need to confront the, quote, enemy from within. As I write for MSNBC.com, Trump and Hegseth's speeches that day were a disgrace, a violation of the sacred line between civilian control and military professionalism. Joining us now, MSNBC political analyst and host of the Bulwark podcast, Tim Miller, and retired D.C. police officer Michael Fanone. He's now a spokesman and advisory board member of Home of the Brave, an organization pushing back against Trump's attacks on democracy, and author of Hold the Line, The Insurrection and One Cop's Battle for America's Soul.
Language matters. I think the specific language that is being used, unleashed, it is not an accident. And I think the president talking about the enemies within is a very specific, it's not just a wink or a nod, it is a clarion call. Officer Fanone, I'm wondering what you think, hearing what the president has said over the last couple of days, but also that clip from Stephen Miller, and talking about really the militarization of local police departments aided and abetted by the National Guard.
Yeah, I think Stephen Miller is an unhinged nerd. And I would venture to say that most law enforcement officers in this country don't take him seriously. And I want to say that saying things like that, while it is incendiary and it's disgusting and it's disgraceful, the policies and procedures that exist in American law enforcement agencies across this country at the state and local level are so ingrained in their officers that listening to, a propaganda speech by Stephen Miller is not going to change the way that those officers, for the most part, conduct their business. What I do worry about is that this is a advertisement or a promotional video for new hires. People that are coming into the career of law enforcement under this administration who see the brutality, who see the state-sponsored violence, and are attracted to that, and hear things like, take the gloves off. When they spit, we hit. And, you are unleashed. That's what concerns me, is the future of law enforcement in this country and what who is going to be attracted to that profession.
Tim, I think that Officer Fanone makes such a incisive point there, right? That this is really about recruiting new folks who want to join the fight. Because if this were simply about normalizing the use of military forces in American cities, then one could argue they should be playing it cool. Right? They should be going in. They should let the action speak for itself. It is almost as though they cannot contain themselves and allow the action to simply speak for itself. They have to narrate what is happening.
Yeah, it's intimidation theater, right? Like, that's what that is. I mean, Hegseth was a weekend talk show host, so, like, that's what he knows, theater, and that's what you can tell Stephen Miller's trying to do to sort of butch himself up. And I'm with Fanone. Look, and he said that the policies and procedures are ingrained in our local police departments, and obviously he's going to know that better than me, and I trust that. This is the issue, though, is that it is intentionally a recruitment effort. Like, they have the resources now for recruitment. I mean, the ICE amount of funding that's going to ICE, if the government, ever starts working again, is going to be greater than the State Department. It's like greater than the Israel military, the amount of money is going to ICE. So they got to recruit and bring in a bunch of new people. And the new people they're bringing in, they're trying to draw the types of people that want to be unleashed, that want to go after the enemy within. And I think that's the ominous part about this. And if you look at the one thing I just want to add to the quote you played from Trump, is he doesn't just say that we have an enemy within. He says that the enemy within is more dangerous than the foreign enemy. And you don't know who they are because they're not wearing uniforms. It could be anybody. Like that is just laying the groundwork for these new recruits or maybe existing people that are on board with that to like come in and start roughing people up, start treating people like enemy combatants. And I think it's a legitimate thing for folks to be worried about. I'm worried about it as we're kind of talking today in New Orleans. There's news that they're going to be sending troops into New Orleans, I think, imminently too, on top of Memphis and the other cities that have been mentioned.